What was supposed to be just another year rebuilding in Montreal turned into one of the most unexpected storylines in the NHL last season. From the beginning to the end of the season, they had gone from lottery hopefuls to one of the hottest teams in hockey. Cole Caulfield found his scoring touch again, Lane Hutson made his long-awaited debut, and looked like a franchise cornerstone from day one. Demidov arrived out of nowhere after months of uncertainty about whether or not he'd make the jump to North America, and he wasted no time making an impact. Patrick Laine was coming off yet another injury, but he slid into the lineup perfectly and looked like he'd been there all along. Every piece that fans had been waiting on for years finally showed up, and everyone delivered. Towards the end of the season, the Habs became one of the hottest teams in the league during the second half, stringing together wins, climbing the standings, and turning what was supposed to be a development year into a Cinderella run to the postseason. It felt like everything that could go right did go right for them, and now for the first time in years, there's momentum in Montreal. The rebuild isn't over, but the Canadiens have officially stepped into the next phase. Some may say that the Canadiens overachieved last year by making the playoffs, that everything went right, everyone had a career year, and there's no way to go but down. But that view misses the bigger picture. This wasn't a fluke, it was the beginning of a new era in Montreal. These were signs of players arriving, maturing, and stepping into the roles they always were meant to fill. And if you really look at this roster, the scariest part is that most of them still have room to grow. It's not like it came out of nowhere though. This group has been quietly building towards something for a couple years now, and it really all started when the Habs traded away their captain Max Pacioretty for Thomas Tatar, a 2019 second-round pick, and prospect Nick Suzuki. Suzuki is finally in his element, steady, mature, and built to lead a team. He's always had the tools, but now he's got the support around him. And this isn't some forced leadership role where the captaincy is just a letter on his chest. This team actually runs through him. His pace dictates the game, his vision opens up space, and his poise under pressure makes everything around him more stable. And all of that truly showed this season. He built off last year where he had 77 points and improved that to 89 points, which was 6th in the entire league among centers, only behind these guys. Year by year, he's grown more complete, and now he's producing at a rate that puts him firmly in the top 15 centers in the league, and quietly, almost unnoticed, he might even be cracking the top 10. And right alongside him, who's also had a career year, is his winger, Cole Caulfield. Caulfield finally looks like the guy that the Habs thought they were drafting, healthy and scoring like a legitimate top-line winger. After 2 injury-riddled seasons that made people question whether or not he could be a consistent threat in this league, he finally got a chance and he delivered. He scored 37 goals, good for 15th in the NHL, and he did it without riding some unsustainable hot streak. And he did it all while averaging just 18 minutes a night, a full minute and a half less than the year before, and still outperformed last season's numbers. Since scoring 23 goals in his first full NHL season in 2021-22, Caulfield has increased his production each year. He had 26 in 2023, 28 in 2024, and now he had 37. He's picking his spots better, finding space without forcing it, and he's not just leaning on his shot. Expect him to take another full step this year. And someone that also took the next step was Juraj Slafkovsky, who really started to earn his spot in that top line this season, somewhere between the new wave and the core, but no longer a prospect. When he's out there with Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield, it's clear that these three click. Slaf's size perfectly balances with Suzuki's playmaking and Cole Caulfield's goal scoring. Together, they became the Canadiens' most dangerous line, and honestly one of the most dangerous lines in the entire league. This graph shows the best forward lines in the entire NHL who played more than 500 minutes together last season. On the x-axis, the minutes they played together, and on the y-axis is their expected goals over the course of the season. Down here near the bottom is the Gallagher, Dvorak, Anderson line, another Habs line, and then moving up is the highly productive line of Pasternak, Zacha, and Geekie. Right here is one of the scariest lines in the entire NHL of Gensel, Point, and Cooch, and right here is a line that won't be together next year, but it was Nyes, Matthews, and Marner. All the way over here is the most productive line in hockey, which consisted of Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, and Gabe Vilardi. Surprisingly, the Ducks line of Terry, Strome, and Veterano's right here, and then right next to them is Slaf, Suzuki, and Caulfield, who worked together for 705 minutes and put up an expected goals of 35.3. So these guys, when playing together, were some of the best players in hockey. And as the offense is flying from guys like that, Sam Montembeault, he did a great job in between the pipes. He had a .902 save percentage last year and a 2.82 goals against average, which was just slightly above league average, but his advanced stats were very good. Among starters in the league, and I'm saying starters are goalies who played 50 or more games last year, Montembeault ranked 3rd in goals saved above expected, right behind Heli and Vazzy, 2 Hall of Fame goalies. He also ranked 4th in goals against average, better than expected, right behind the same 2 guys and Darcy Kemper. There's definitely pressure mounting with Dobesh having a good rookie season and Jacob Fowler coming off the pipeline, but as long as he continues to put up those good underlying numbers, the surface numbers will rise as the team gets better. Once those key pieces were in place, they then brought in a few additions, guys who brought experience, fit the system, and elevated the group, and suddenly that all made things click. And one of those guys was Patrik Laine. There were a lot of questions surrounding his return. After everything that happened, no one really knew what version of him the Habs were getting. Would he be motivated? Would he even fit in? But to his credit, he showed up looking pretty locked in, comfortable, engaged, and ready to play his role. He gave Montreal exactly what they needed, a legit secondary scoring option behind Cole Caulfield, and a real weapon on the power play. Defenses couldn't just cheat towards Caulfield anymore, and that spacing opened up everything. The results showed pretty quickly as Montreal's power play jumped from 17.5% last season to 20.1% this season after he entered the lineup. Despite missing pretty much half the season, he was 4th in the league in power play goals, and while he was chipping in on the offense, the acquisition of Alexander Carrier went almost unnoticed on the back end. Carrier isn't flashy, but he brought exactly what the Canadiens needed. When he arrived from Nashville on December 18th, Montreal was 12-16-3, second to last in the Eastern Conference, and the defense looked lost. But from that point on, once Carrier entered the lineup, everything changed. The Canadiens went 28-15-8 the rest of the way, a .627 points percentage that ranked 9th best in the NHL and 3rd best in the Eastern Conference. The advanced numbers back it up. Before he joined the lineup, Montreal ranked near the bottom of the league in key defensive categories. They were 29th in shot share, 30th in expected goals share, and 30th in high danger chances share. After he stepped in, those numbers flipped. The Habs jumped to 5th in shot share, 8th in expected goals share, and 8th in high danger chances share. Before Carrier, Montreal was getting outshot 5.3 shots per game, and after, they were outshooting opponents by 3.6. But maybe the most exciting part of last season was the kids, led by Lane Hutson. Hutson stepped into the NHL and immediately changed the flow of the game from the back end. He ran the power play, racking up 26 points on the man advantage and quickly becoming the quarterback of Montreal's top unit. He finished his rookie season with 66 points, leading all NHL rookies, and set a franchise record for points by a rookie defenseman. And he capped it all off by winning the Calder Trophy. And someone who could win the Calder Trophy next season is Ivan Demidov. Even in a small sample size, he looked pretty dangerous. 2 points in his NHL debut, slick hands, smart reads, and the confidence to try things a lot of rookies wouldn't even consider. He's expected to make the opening night roster, and St. Louis seems locked in on pairing him up with Newhook, and if anything, that's great news for Newhook. Demidov's upside is super exciting for the Habs, and what makes all this even more exciting is that they've added on to their success from last season by making their team even stronger. They brought in Noah Dobson, who will be a key piece in Montreal's right side. Still young but experienced, he's a smooth puck mover with great offensive upside. He's had some tough seasons as of late, but a fresh start could unlock even more. The real question is how Montreal manages Dobson alongside Lane Hutson. Both are strong playmakers who thrive with the puck and on the power play. It's definitely a good problem to have, and it's one that they're gonna have to address. With all these pieces coming together, it's easy to start picturing what the Canadiens roster might look like on opening night. Compared to 2 years ago, this team has way more depth and flexibility. They can roll different lines depending on whether they want to focus on offense, checking, or giving the younger guys some minutes. Everyone seems to have a clear role now, from the 5-on-5 matchups to the power play and in net. Looking at the projections, Caulfield could be hitting 40+ goals, Suzuki could be pushing 90 points, Laine could push 35+ goals if he stays healthy, Slav could reach 60+ points, and rookie Demidov, he could be in the range of 55 points in his first full season. Montembeault might be able to maintain a save percentage over 910 and even earn a spot on Team Canada. The Atlantic Division, though, it's still pretty tough. Toronto, Florida, and Tampa, they remain the top dogs of that division. Ottawa keeps improving, and Detroit and Buffalo might be on the rise, but they're both kind of stuck in that never-ending rebuild. Realistically, Montreal could probably finish around 4th or 5th if they stay healthy, maybe sneak in as a wild card if Montembeault stays solid and the power play clicks. In the worst case, they are a bottom of the Eastern Conference team, but the upside is pushing a team like Tampa for 3rd in the division. The Canadiens aren't just rebuilding anymore. They've officially entered the next phase, and for the first time in years, you can't help but feel the momentum is firmly on their side.